I want to challenge you today to take a moment and redefine what it means for success for yourself. Because 70% of men feel unprepared for most challenges. Exposing the strength and vulnerability and shattering the silence around men's mental health. We're two guys creating a space where men can talk, support, and uplift one another. In a world that often misunderstands us, we're here to break the stigma. Join the conversation, empower yourself, and let's redefine what it means to be a man. This is the Untamed Truth Podcast. Tune in, speak out, and let's grow together.
I think that the only way we can really go about this is to first, define the fact that success is different for everybody, Because the way I measure success and the way you measure success are going to be two completely different things.
Two completely.
Because what I consider successful and what you consider success. And did I turn into you or something?
Yeah,
because you're usually the one bumbling words.
Yeah.
So what I think is successful.
I think I was like, gave it to you.
Keep that voodoo over there, son. I got enough problems. I think that success is so different for everybody else. It's really hard to.
Okay, so like normally everybody's normal success, everything that you hear about is about money. Making
it's always
money. You want to be more successful, make more money, do this, do that, right? But what I think is we need to challenge that and come back to what it means success for you.
Yeah, because we could sit around all day long and compare ourselves to everyone else on this planet, everybody else that's more successful. And you know what? It isn't going to do anything to change our own success. It's just not.
Yeah. So I wrote this down because I was like
doing some studying.
Well, I did some study, a little bit of studying, but like I wrote this down because this is how I thought. I was thinking at the time, and like this is how I think, but I wrote it down so that way I could get what I was trying to say, right?
Yeah.
So you want to shift from wealth, status, and power, which is what everybody.
It's a social norm.
That like anything you watch, that's what they define success as.
Yeah.
To more holistic and personal measurement that align with your individual values, purpose, and well-being.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that sounds like a better way to look at success and look at being successful. To me, some of the most successful people I know, they're not rich, they're not famous, they don't have it all, but their happiness far outweighs anything that I've ever, considered successful. And to me, happiness is what I'm after. That's what looking at being successful, being happy is where, well, there's a couple things, but being happy is on the top of my list. Like, I just want to be happy.
And also through your journey through life, like you need to reevaluate it.
Oh yeah,
because it changes. Because when I was younger, like it was a lot about money and making a job
and things
and being a provider for myself and anybody else that I want.
Yeah.
If I had a family or anything else, be a provider for them. That was the goal then, right?
Yeah.
So then, like as you get older, your goals change.
They have to, and you can't accomplish some of the things that you could accomplish when you were 20.
But just because, like back then, doesn't mean that successful relationships. That wasn't part of my success plan. You see, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
you just expected that to already be happening and be working.
I mean, you would think, but like when you do success and you're only focused on like your job, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll just take that for an example, because like I'm a big one. Like I tend to put too many eggs in one basket.
Yeah. Welcome to my world, sweetheart.
And I do that a lot. You know what I'm saying?
I do that with everything.
So my goal for success at that point was better job, more money, make more money. And then it was just like a whole wealth scenario.
Buy the house, buy the bigger house, buy the nicer
car. And then
car.
like, so that goes back to all the balance stuff we were talking about in another episode too, right? So,
Yeah.
So like you focus on one thing and then that's just all you focus on.
Yeah.
You just kind of lose out on everything else, which if you go back to what I was saying, like your individual values, purpose, and well-being, right?
Yeah.
Well, my success, what I was deeming as my success, was flawed.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't going by my values, my purpose, or well-being,
You're just going off monetary things.
Yeah, it's just money, which I think that is a good goal.
You got to have it to survive, and everything's expensive. Everything.
And like, I do think success can be measured by that, but there's also other things, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I think clarifying your values is a big step. Like, I would challenge you to clarify your values.
Yeah. Because you got to know what you want.
Yeah.
To go after something,
So,
you got to know what you want. That's why kids in college switch degrees 4 or 5 times before they finally figure out what they want to do.
So you want to identify what really truly matters. Family, creativity, impact, or freedom. Which, me doing the success thing, and then I worked on myself, right?
Yeah.
So, you also learn, whenever you're working on yourself, that money isn't the goal. Like,
happiness is the goal.
Like, you hear a lot of success, and they're like, "Oh, money, money, money." That's not the success goal. The success goal that you would really be looking for would be freedom.
And for me, happiness is freedom.
So, and because I'm talking about freedom, like, yes, happiness is one, but like, so if you're talking money wise, right? Anything money wise is freedom. It's being able to do what you want, when you want, with whoever you want.
Yeah, and having the money and not worrying about whether the bills are going to be paid this month,
Right.
because you decided to go on a little vacation.
And you got the freedom.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it now.
Yeah.
Like, I was looking at it just by making more money, and that isn't always true.
Yeah. More money, more problems.
In my experience.
Well, I think everybody comes to that experience. Somebody who wasn't born rich, because money then becomes no object. And look at how many like super rich people we see. They're just the most miserable, unhappy humans on the planet.
More money, different problems.
100%.
I mean,
always.
No money, different problems. I mean, there's still problems.
I've had
whether
cheese
you got money
sandwiches,
or not.
cuz we didn't have no cheese, so it was just mayo if we had it.
Like, I was making quite pretty good money, but like, I worked all the time. Like, all the time.
I feel like there's a gremlin in my living room, dude.
There is. Oh my god.
Dude, it's so bad. Biscuit, shut up. Wow. I know y'all hear this. Y'all have to hear this.
So then, like, another thing is, set personal metrics.
Personal metrics. What do you mean by personal metrics, though? Like, your own personal goals?
So what you want to do is define success in terms of progress, not perfection. Like,
boy, we both have a problem with that.
Oh, dude, I have a big problem.
Both have a problem with perfection
because I like to be perfect on stuff, which that is you can't be perfect. But anyway, learning a skill.
Yeah, that's what I have over here is
improving mental resilience.
Yeah.
So, new skills. Like, one of the big things that I really think all people need to work on is communication and active listening skills.
That's mine. Boy, I suck. Because
non-word vomits.
Dude, look, I've gotten better. I've gotten better. But dude, I can't help it. The way my brain works, if I don't say something, my memory is so shite that if I don't say something, I forget it. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's my past things I've done or what, but I just can't. I can't. Like, if we're talking about something, I'll forget what we were talking about 13 seconds into us talking about it, and then I'll be like, what were we talking about?
See, I don't really forget what we're talking about now. And like, if you say something while we're talking, and then I want to say something and I have to wait, sometimes I forget.
Oh, every time.
It's just because, like, my mind, like, honestly, like while we're talking, like it may go off somewhere else, which is a listening skill issue.
My mind just is blank most of the time.
Yeah, mine's a listening skill issue because like
I be thinking about things I shouldn't be thinking about.
So like, you know how someone's talking to you and then like while they're talking you're trying to come up with something else to say?
No, I don't do that.
You don't? Well, I do.
I don't do that.
And like I've been trying to cut that off so that way I can listen to what people are saying.
Yeah.
And then respond.
No, I don't got into that, bro.
Yeah, so I'm working on that. But like that's why I say like communication skills is like it's you got to learn how to do it. The better you can communicate, it helps out all through everything. Work, friends, family, everything.
Work, life, expectations.
But like learn new skills, such.
Well, it's like me. I got a garden. It's not a skill. I know a little bit about it, but I've never had my own big garden.
Yeah.
So like I got nothing else to do when it comes to outside stuff, and I can't stand to be stuck in the house all the time. I'm growing a garden. I mean, y'all can see my plants over here.
So the thing is, like, let's say, like, whatever you're doing, like, something doesn't work out, right? You planted the zucchini too early.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm struggling with right now is when to plant.
Let's just say that, Farmer's Almanac, but
it's been wrong the last 3 years.
Really? It used to be
because
it used to be spot on.
Used to be spot on, and that's what I was going off of. And then I talked to a buddy the other day, and he was like, "Nope," because I got a lot of older friends, and I was like, "Man, I'm gonna wait till May 1st to plant this." And he was like, "Well, you're going by the almanac, ain't you?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "It's been wrong the last 2 years." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Dude, that's what everybody followed." He said, "I don't know what's going on." He said, "But it's been wrong."
Yeah, you used to follow that like the Bible.
Last year, nothing that got planted. There was a horrible here locally. Stuff grew horribly last year. So I'm like, well, what do I do? Just gamble and just plant it whenever? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to plant it whenever the rain stops, if it does.
But that's crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah, neither did I until I talked to him. What the hell?
So like, let's say something like that happens, like you mess up somehow. Instead of taking that as a loss or thinking of it as a fail, turn it around as a learning experience
and
that you learn from it, and then you do better next time.
Yeah, figure out what was wrong, what you did wrong, and fix it for the next time. Because life's about trial and error, dude.
Trial and error.
We mess up all the time. It's like my kids still are like, especially the baby. He's like, "Dad, I messed up. And I'm like, it's okay. We all mess up, buddy. It's not the end of the world.
So
just move on to the next thing.
So like, just like your thing, like we're talking about your garden. Like, let's say the zucchini don't grow or whatever.
I hope it do, because I love zucchini.
Well, pick something you don't like. I don't care.
I love zucchini. I like all the vegetables. I don't like tomatoes really.
Okay.
I like garden tomatoes though. I don't like regular store-bought tomatoes. Well, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but your plant just was awful that
Doesn't
year,
work,
right?
Yeah.
But if you turn it around. And like, you can use that in life too, because like if you turn it around and you learn from your experience, you never failed. It happened, you move on.
Yeah. I mean, and that's like we just said, that's all life is.
I mean, you can mark it up as a fail, like technically, but like if you look at it in a different way, it's not a failure, it's a learning experience. It's
nobody gets it right the first time when they start some new endeavor. They just don't. Like it's all trial and error, and you have to try different things to make things successful. But my big thing is I like to try to learn from other people's mistakes, but boy, there ain't as much impact when you learn from somebody else's mistakes as there is when you learn from your own.
Well, yes, but they also got the saying of what is that? It's do you want to be the fool or not? I think it's the fool.
Well, I've never heard this one.
So like the fool learns from only his mistakes.
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas like the wise man learns from other people's mistakes as well as his own.
Yeah. I mean, that's factual. The one that I always heard was a hard lesson learned is not soon forgotten.
Yeah.
But if you can learn that hard lesson from somebody else's mistakes, man, like, you're going to save yourself a whole lot of grief.
But I mean, like, learning from other people, that's a big one. Like, I mean, you just Gotta pay attention.
A lot of times that's hard for people though, because they're like, well, you did it wrong, but I don't mean I will. And then they go and make the same mistake, and you're like, I told you, you didn't listen.
Yeah, but that's acting the fool.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like acting the fool. You want to be wise, or you want to act the fool.
That's another thing I'm trying to instill into my kids is to not act the fool.
I mean, it's a hard one. It's
Especially when they're young.
That's one of them skills you got to learn.
Yep, it sure is.
Which early in life, you make your own mistakes, and you
ain't listening to nobody.
Ain't listening to nobody. You think you always right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was that way, but like as you get older, that changes a little bit. But
so I got a question, Pint.
What's up?
What do you think is holding most men back from success? Because there's a lot of factors that factor into that. What do you think?
Embracing flexibility.
Bro, I am not good at that. 100% not good at being
like I got some things here, but that was the next one on here. It is actually, and I think this is one of the biggest.
The not being able to be flexible.
Yeah.
Dude, we just talked about this in the last episode. Is how I'm not.
You want to allow your definition to evolve with life stages and experiences, and a lot of us, we get into that. I call it blinder state. You got the blinders on, right? And
can't see the forest for the trees.
And then you think this is the way, but you're not looking at the whole thing.
Yeah.
So you can't react to everything that's going on. And win, lose, or fail, you're going down this track no matter what, right?
Yeah.
And also, it also comes back to everything else. If you're in a dead end job, right? You're just in the dead end job, and a lot of us just keep trucking down, and we never get off that ride.
Yeah. It's scary.
I mean, not only for the fear, but for the lack of flexibility. We don't flex.
Yeah.
We want to do the same thing over and over, because humans are we do a lot of stuff repetitory.
Oh yeah.
Right.
100%.
Like think about this. So if you're going down to the store, right?
Yep.
So let's say there's 5 different ways to go to the store.
There's 3 from right here.
Okay, so there's three different ways to go to the store, right? So when you go to the store, if you ever think about it, you will go the same way almost every time, right?
Every time.
So
I'll know school is letting out, and I'll know it's going to be traffic.
Doesn't matter about the traffic. Doesn't matter about the weather. Doesn't matter anything else. You will go the same way.
Yep, because I've gotten it's ingrained in me. I know there's 3 different ways, but it's ingrained in my head that I go this way. And I'll get to when I drive, I turn the music up, and I'm thinking like I'm in my zone. I'm in my chill mode, and I don't even think about it. And the next thing I know, I'm down there at the roundabout going, "Why did I come this way?"
Yeah. So like if you take just. I mean, this is just an example because most of us drive. Well, I won't say everybody, but a lot of us drive, and you always take the same routes, right?
Yeah.
So
I do though. Even when I was driving,
but
that's another jab at Chad's blindness. I thought the blinders was another one too. You asshole.
Well, I wasn't even thinking about that.
I know you weren't, but I was like,
it went right into it.
It's like, is this a jab at me? Or is it
but I mean, if we were a little bit more flexible, we would, we would go different ways.
Just to see a different scene.
This may be, be more mileage, but I might get there quicker because
less traffic.
This one's congested.
Yeah.
Or maybe this route over here, maybe there's a 4th way we didn't know about, and we figure that one out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, with all these subdivisions open around here, there's probably 5 or 6 routes now.
So, just be flexible.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we're not flexible. So then I also challenge people to reject comparison.
Yeah, that's a big one for a lot of people is there's so many people out there that and with social media, I know that we always go back to social media, but it really is a problem for growth for most people because there's so many people out there that you don't know what's really going on outside of what they post.
Yeah, because they distort the perception of success.
And they do that for more views and more clicks and more likes and all that shit, but you don't know really what's going on, but you're taking your life in a completely different place, in a completely different time, a whole different set of everything, and you're comparing yourself to that. You don't know where they came from. They don't know where you came from.
It's like this. So like, I was watching something, but they were talking about some YouTubers that are calling themselves experts, but all they do is bring up a script, do the script, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And they're like, they don't have anything really to do with what they're talking about.
They're just a face.
They're not. So like, for an example, let's say they're talking about money. A lot of them don't even have a lot of money, and then they're trying to tell you about money and how to invest your money and stuff like this and do this and do that.
They don't really know what's going on. They're reading off a script. Like an example of that for me is like, I don't take a relationship advice from people that don't have a relationship, or two, have a crap relationship. I'm saying, I'm sure there's some things that can be learned from everybody. There's always something you can learn from everybody. And I'm slowly adapting into that. But if you're in a relationship and it's a bad relationship, and I've watched this relationship be bad, I'm not going to take your advice when it comes to something relationship. Or here's one that's even closer to my heart. I'm fat. You're not taking health advice from a fat diabetic who lost his vision. Just don't. It's not smart.
Yeah.
Don't take,
well, on the relationship thing, I do take advice from people, whether they have, because like it's like this. I might not do what they say,
but you're going to hear it.
But I'm going to listen to them.
Yeah, I'll listen to them, but that don't. I'm not
because think about, like, they might have a different opinion than what I was thinking, and it might get me thinking about things a little bit different. Like in relationship wise, like on relationship stuff, like I'm pretty set.
Yeah.
And you know that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty set.
And that's why you're single.
No.
I'm
single because I haven't found the one that I want.
That too, but the problem is there's not a lot out there that are quality humans that around here. Now, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but from what I can tell, talking to the single friends that I do have, it's just not the availability of quality humans is just not.
She gotta be quality, or I ain't gonna do it.
That's what I'm saying.
You get what I'm saying?
That's 100. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. So, it's gonna be hard to find somebody worth a crap.
So, but yeah, so like, so focus on your own path.
Yeah.
Don't focus on everybody else. Like, it's good to have role models, but don't follow them.
Yeah, make your own way.
Make your own way, because like otherwise you're just following someone else's path. I mean, you ain't even following yours, and that's why a lot of people, I think, aren't happy,
because they're trying to portray. They're watching somebody else do stuff.
You're trying to be someone else. You're trying to go, oh well, this is what success is because he has a lot of money and he does whatever he wants and he looks happy, and you don't know how he is behind closed doors.
Just because he has a ginormous house and a nice car, that doesn't mean shit.
I mean, everything else in his life could be crap. You don't know that.
I have no clue.
But focus on your own path. And also, hard work and grit aren't enough.
No, because hard work, look, I know people that have worked 40, 50 years, and they are the hardest working people you ever met, and they're still not the picture of success. They're just not. They may be successful in their own way, and that's fine. I'm not judging them. I'm just saying that it's not.
Well,
they don't have a lot of money. They don't have the nicest cars, but they're hard working, good quality people.
The guys that I know that are like that, right? I know a few that are really hard working, and like they work ridiculous hours.
Yeah,
which is fine, because they're providing for their family, right? And like, as men, we do suffer sometimes to provide for our family.
Absolutely.
Like you take on that burden, but the problem is that I see is with them is I don't think they have set goals for their own success, because they just look hollow.
Paycheck to paycheck life.
Yeah, and they Like, you just look in their eyes and they just look. You know how you go up to somebody and they just look dead in their eyes?
Yeah. It's because they've turned themselves into a zombie, not chasing after any kind of dream that they had, but just surviving this world, just surviving in the society that we live in. I get it.
So,
like, I mean, I think both of us have been there for sure. You know, we both been in that position where people looked at us and were like, dude, this guy's hollow as hell. Like, he's dead.
oh, dude, I got that way when I was working at that factory.
I mean, same. That's whenever I felt the worst that I've ever felt is when I worked in that factory.
Which, like, the job now I got, like, is really rewarding.
Dude,
like,
I love your job.
I enjoy my job now.
I think your job is awesome, and it shows the kind of human that you are. Like, it shows your heart. And I know you're not real big on talking about, like, any of that shit, but
yeah.
like, it shows me more, because I never really knew that about you, and we're not going to talk about your job because it's personal, but like, when I found out what you actually do now, I was like, holy shit, that's a different side of pint I didn't know, you know.
Oh yeah, like I've been wanting to do something like this for a while. The problem is I didn't get into it because I didn't think I would actually enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
You're having a blast. Like, you love it.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, okay, so what I'm trying to say is I didn't think I would enjoy it as a job.
Yeah, you wanted to do it on the side for no money, just to do it to enjoy it. Yeah.
And actually, it's opened up my mind even more.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying I'm proud of you, dog. Like,
and
it's definitely cool watching you move into this.
So, like,
new
for me,
position
success, like, I've taken success, and you know, I define it for me, you know,
yeah,
as a good having good relationships with family and friends. I strive for freedom. That's what I'm striving for.
Yeah.
You know, and then I also measure success for, like, the podcast, right?
Yeah.
So my success from the podcast is a little bit different from my life.
Yeah.
Because the success for the podcast, I want to help people.
Yeah. And I mean, we talked about that in the very first episode. Like, that's our goal for this. I don't care. I mean, it'd be nice to make money, but that's not my goal. Like, that's not my goal. Is to help somebody, anybody, everybody that we can.
So, like, that's just kind of how I define success and with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So something that I think that a lot of people, and this goes back to being flexible, though, is just resilience and not giving up. You know, being resilient and not, like, going back to the garden thing. Like, if it fails this year, this is my first year doing a big garden myself. You know, before I had my dad and other people that, you know, older people that knew a lot about stuff. This is the first year I'm doing a big garden by myself. I've always had a little garden. So just being resilient and making sure that I don't just give up in the middle and just, something goes the wrong way.
So,
well, move forward.
So, like, a big thing would be to develop skills.
Yeah. I mean,
So develop your skills, like, for the success part, right? Mm-hmm. To make yourself successful, develop your emotional intelligence, right? So you want to be able to manage your emotions better and be able to build relationships, right? Because, like, if we went back to your garden thing, like, building relationships with other people that garden, you know, may help you because, you know, they can be like, well, you know, don't plant this time of year, right?
Yeah, networking, connecting with people that have done this for years.
Or hey, let's say you wanted to plant
weed. I'll have plenty of those to pull out.
Weeds.
Yeah, God, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, weeds are bad around here, but
It's horrible.
No, so, like, I'm trying to think of something that don't grow really well around here.
Asparagus doesn't grow real well around here.
Okay, so, like, let's say asparagus, and someone's like, well, that don't grow good here, you know.
Don't grow it.
So then you would know from your relationships, right? And same thing with, like, all your relationships through work and everything else.
Yeah.
Like I think relationships are a big part of success. Like the more people you know, the more people
can help you through the problems and the good parts, and not letting you get screwed over by things that you don't know things about. So, and
then managing your emotions, that's another big one. Like that's a really learned skill. Not suppressing.
And that's what I did for far too long.
I'm talking about managing them.
And that was a big deal for a lot of people, is managing it, not just pushing it down and saying, "Oh, I'll deal with it later."
Right.
It always comes back worse.
So then, adaptability.
This is one that I suck at.
I know you do. But.
Embracing change and learn fast. I do learn fast when I finally do embrace the change, and I'm like, all right, this is changing. I got to figure this out. I do adapt pretty quickly, but my memory problems always mess with me. I don't know how it is for everybody else, but like, I'm pretty easygoing, go with the flow, but like, if there's a set routine I've got, I'm a routine person when it comes to most stuff. So adapting to new things is a really big
most people are. That's why I say flexibility, man.
I mean, I'm horrible with the flexibility.
Flexibility, adaptability, kind of same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
But embrace that change.
I know. That's
just embrace it.
It's just
change
hard.
is scary.
It's scary as shit,
It
dude.
can be, right?
But if I think about it, everything that's ever changed in my life, I let go of something that was mediocre and got something better. If it was hard, every time I went through something that's hard, it's something that I'm like, dude, I don't want to deal with this shit. Like, I don't want to do this. But then I'd get through it and I'd be like, so this is all it took, is just going through it and getting it done. And now look at it. I'm in a better position now than I was before. And I was so scared to change anything. So you'd think that my dumb ass would have learned from those things, but I still have trouble.
So a lot of it is, just learning to embrace it.
Yeah, 100%.
And a lot of times you do get better. Sometimes it ain't better. But hey, that's where you come back to
acceptance. Is that the word you were looking for?
Acceptance.
Yeah. This rain is insane.
I mean, it can be acceptance, I guess.
Well, what were you going to say?
You threw me off with that acceptance.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes shit just sucks. You got to accept it and move on. Like, that's one thing that I am good about when it comes to adaptability. I've had so many...
what I was going for was you got to turn it around.
Yeah, like you were talking about the garden thing. It didn't grow good this year. Don't give up. Just don't grow it next year. Grow it different.
Learn from it and go on.
Yeah, absolutely. Learn from your mistakes.
Yeah. That's what I was going for. And
I was over here like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like you threw that out there and like just derailed me, man.
Well, it's like, think about it this way. You're talking about growing asparagus. Well, if I tried to grow asparagus and I didn't talk to nobody about it, and I didn't know, like, I'm sure you can grow asparagus. You just have to be really good at growing shit. There's stuff that's easy to grow. There's stuff that ain't easy to grow. So I'm sure you can grow it, but if I failed at it, giving up on it, I didn't learn nothing from it. I'd have to adapt and move on, grow something else. Broccoli grows good here. I've grown that, and I like broccoli. You like broccoli?
Yeah, it's all right. So like networking, connect authentically.
Yeah, it's grow friends in the things you do. That'll build success faster than anything, I think.
Well, like I said, building relationships, networking, like communication.
It's all the same thing.
Learning all that, like that will open so many doors for you don't even realize.
The connections you make through things like, so for instance, we want to do bees. We want to have bees out here.
Yeah.
So somebody started going to like beekeeping classes because it's a free class here that's offered at one of the centers over here, and you can learn about beekeeping, and like they'll help you out, and there's all kinds of resources and stuff. That's one way. Like, that's networking. You're going to go there. You're going to meet people that are doing the things that you're wanting to do, and a lot of them are already successful. So
I mean, you can learn all kinds of stuff, like business, like starting your own business, stuff like that. There's actually a lot of towns have business centers where they have free stuff you can use, And then other people will be in there that are trying to start businesses, everything else. You can network with them.
Yeah.
You can learn. Once you start networking with them, you'll network with people that actually have businesses. And then guess what? Maybe you run into somebody that's like sees what you're doing with your business, and then comes
Start
in
pumping money into it and helping you.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about it comes in and helps you, like mentor you a little bit. Help show you the rope. Like maybe, like even if they're in the same industry, like there's some competitors, right?
Yeah.
That have actually helped out other competitors in the same field. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the problem with big business is it's just been monopolized. They all own everything.
But I mean, it's like just getting those connections, like especially in small towns, like smaller town like this. If you learn like a bunch of people, and like before you know it, like you're networked with everybody, and you only have a handful of people that you actually networked with.
Yeah.
And then like you need I don't know, you need anything to help you, or you need to learn some skills or something, like there's somebody out there.
Yeah, 100%. There always is. Because there's somebody that's done it before all of us, no matter what we're trying to do.
So like that's why I always prioritize relationships. I mean, for one, that got me into the field that I'm in now.
Yeah, networking with other people.
Yeah, it was just my friendships. Like that's how I got to doing what I'm doing now, and I love it. And sometimes, like, we don't even know what we want, and somebody might help us, push us in a direction that
falls in our lap, and boom! Oh, yeah. Next thing you know, it's something that you're passionate about, and you're pushing forward to do big things with it. Having a growth mindset is key. So a lot of things that I've always seen in my past, like, career, anything that challenged me, I considered growth, because once I got past that challenge, I knew how the next time, because in the business I was in, that's something that there's things that are going to happen, whether you want it to happen or not. There's things that are going to happen, and you're going to have to fix those things and move past it. So that's something that the challenges in that thing, like in that career.
So you see it as challenges.
It's a challenge. It's not a challenge. A lot of the things weren't challenges to me, because it's something I dealt with so many times. It was just another hurdle you had to jump over to get to the other side of the business I was in. But
so I kind of see growth mindset in a little bit different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then my growth mindset is that I want to be better tomorrow than I am today.
Absolutely.
So in my growth mindset is that I always want to be working on something that's going to better me for tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's basically the same thing I was saying. The challenges that you're faced with today make you better.
But I'm not talking about just challenges. I'm talking about, maybe I learn a skill. Maybe it's I change the way that I think about things. Maybe I want to.
That makes better sense to me.
Maybe I sit back and maybe I want to read a book that might open my mind to a different way of looking at things, because trying not to be narrow-minded.
Yeah.
And being more open to things can really change things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like anything else. Being open-minded helps in all aspects of life, I think. So I agree with that for sure.
I mean, that's why I say I don't really think of it as challenges.
Well, I mean, the challenges make you better. Going through the funnel makes you better in the end.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you think of it different than I do. I'm just saying this is how I think.
Well, I didn't think of that way. So that's
I don't think of it as challenges to me. I think of it as just bettering myself.
New opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with that. That makes a hell of a lot of sense to me.
Because honestly, like, if I think of things like challenges are fine. But, like, if I throw, like, that idea that it is a challenge, it's a hurdle, it's something that I have to overcome, it kind of puts, like, a negative spin on it.
Yeah, it changes your mindset on the whole situation.
So, I like to try to do the most positive mindset that I can.
That's hard, too.
Right? So, I always try to stay positive on stuff. and which it's tough. It really is. Like negative thoughts will come into your head, and you just gotta
Block that shit
push
out.
them out, right? But that's how I see it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Taking practical steps like setting goals, seeking feedback, and prioritizing your self-care. So that's the thing for me with this garden. My goal for this garden is to can some stuff, like can some tomatoes and can some green beans, because I don't like the metal canned crap. It's not, I mean, I like it. It's decent. But I want to can some tomatoes to make sauce and make ketchup, and I want to make some homemade sauce and stuff, you know. So that's my goal for the garden, you know. So setting goals, practical goals, like you got to set something that you know you can do. And I know that my mama, she know how to jar stuff. I don't. I think I got a good idea. I watched videos, but she done it hands on, so I know she can help me with that. But getting feedback on stuff. Sometimes there ain't gonna be good feedback. You gotta learn how to accept the good stuff with the bad stuff, because it ain't always all gonna be good.
So what I say about the bad stuff is you look at it, and because some people are just negative.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So
Absolutely.
if they just negative, just throw it out.
Yeah.
But like, you know, all feedback, as they say, is good feedback, right?
Not really. I don't believe that.
Well, most of it is. But like, you know, you want to look at it, and how do you say
Use
that?
trusted sources too. Don't just get feedback from everybody.
No, what I'm saying is you get feedback from anybody, but like you take what they say, not with a grain of salt, but
you
like,
test it out. You make sure that they're not just bullshitting you.
no, I'm not even saying that. What I'm saying
Well, what
is
are you saying?
take it and use it.
Yeah, that's what you do with feedback. That's what you're supposed to do with feedback.
But the negative stuff, you take it, you look at it, see if it applies. This is what I'm
Okay.
what
I
I'm
was like,
trying
what
to
is
say.
he trying to say? Yeah.
You can.
Well, I'm trying to get a word in edgewise here, dickhead.
So if it's negative, you got to throw it out and be positive. You got to be positive.
We talked about resilience and being confident. Being confident in something, like that's a hard one to be confident in something that you're new starting out in. You know, starting out in something new, I don't think I'm going to be very confident in what I'm doing most of the time.
I don't know. I'm confident.
I'm confident in a lot of stuff, but when I start a new task and go into a new something, I'm not going to be very confident.
I'm confident.
I'm not whenever it comes to something
But
new.
because I look at it like this, I might not know. I might not be able to do it right now, but I'm going to figure it out.
Well, yeah, I'm confident in that, but I'm talking about in the task at hand. Sometimes I'm just going to be like, what?
So I'm going to be confident.
Yeah.
You just got to be confident and do it.
I'm glad that you can be confident and do it. Some of us can't.
I mean, you just got to look at it, and it's a problem to be solved, and go for
I'm
it.
going to be backpedaling and asking a million questions to try to figure this shit out.
I'm not going to backpedal. I'm going to go for it.
Well, because I'm afraid of messing it up. I want to do it right, and I have to do it 50 times.
If I mess it up, it's a learning experience, and I move on.
I guess.
That's what you got to... Flexible.
See, there we go. Back to me not being flexible.
Flexible.
Confidence is key, I guess. So keeping it all together and tying everything together, it will help with your lasting success. So all the stuff we've talked about is just ways that we've learned or are learning, for me, to succeed. Just don't give up. You know, don't give up. And success isn't about grinding for old formulas. Or old formulas. It's about evolving, connecting, and staying resilient, growing, adapting, taking all the steps toward your goal. Make it personal. Build. Why am I struggling with reading? Build from within and challenge success. It isn't measured by how much you have, but how far you've come. And that's factual. Like,
Yep.
if I look back on myself at 20 years old, where I was at then and where I'm at now, boy, I tell you what, I'm a different human all the way around.
If you would, like, share, comment. Let us know your fight. We're in this together. Till next time, thanks for tuning in.